One thing I learned about pro wrestlers, y'all know you're gonna win before anybody else does. So thank you for teaching me that.
I couldn't believe that. When this woman who's from that movie came up there in the middle of that show and said that this shit is fake, what you've been watching up until that point has been fake, and I got an appreciation for that. This show was not good, but if you go on YouTube and you look at these people who do these YouTube reviews, you know, who got an audience, they say this show is fantastic, but the ending was just terrible. Bro, this whole show was terrible. This whole show was the problem that AEW is right now, and why this audience is only just going to get smaller and smaller. It's never going to grow. I couldn't believe what I saw here this morning. From what that woman said to how these matches were played out and how these matches were, endless kickouts, bro. Endless kickouts. What do you have to do to beat somebody in this company? Because they kick out of everything. Everything they kick out is like a video game. And they got like the kick out system where they can just hit a button and just kick out of anything. That's what this place is. If you like it, that's great that you like this. I think it's entertaining. I was very entertained, but in the wrong way possible. This company, man, it's not. Okay, so you got 0 Hour, right? And you got Commander and Hologram versus Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. These are the people that they have going in and out of towns to your town and everything like that. They don't have nobody here, bro. Hologram and Commander won. That's your new tag team, I guess. They ain't gonna do nothing with them. And what would you do with them? Nothing. You had an 8-man tag match because, you know, Tony, he wants to get everybody on the show because he don't want to, you know, ruffle the feathers and make anybody mad. Between Daniel Garcia and the Undisputed Kingdom against Shane Taylor and his people. Collision was one of the worst collisions I've seen, and I don't know. Collision is a bad show anyway. Then you got Chris Jericho beating up Gravity for the Ring of Honor World Championship. It didn't really get started because Gravity didn't officially get started as the Learning Tree beat down Gravity. And then Bandito came out there, tried to make a save. And then he unmasked Gravity. So Gravity's family came down to the ring, you know, saying, trying to help him not take the mask off and all this and that shit, whatever. Then you got a trios match with the Costco fat kid. I'm just going to call it like it is because I don't know why y'all, this kid is obese and you living in a world where people like to eat shit all the time. They done taking care of their shit and don't bring these kids out there like that, bro. This is not a good look. The last thing this kid needs is a fucking cookie. It's the Riz. It's the Riz. He's out there with an orange kid. Man, get this shit off my TV. He ain't fucking care. Shows you how far John Morrison has gone. He needs to just stop, quit wrestling, and just be a coach down at NXT. You got the main card started. Let's get through this. So you got the Hangman match with MJF. Probably like one of the better wrestling matches on this show. I don't know what you're doing with MJF or Hangman for that matter. It don't really matter, man. Hangman won. It was an okay match. But we got a long string of just bad shit that's going to be just taking place from this moment on all the way through the end. You had Mercedes Moné versus the Japanese girl, another one, and another one that just got fed to her. I don't understand why you keep bringing these women in here for just to feed them to this woman like this. This woman is not a draw. She ain't doing nothing for women's wrestling but feeding her ego. And you're not going to be able to build a women's division with a woman who's at the top of that division and who's a secondary champion. She's a secondary champion acting like it's a world title. That's the problem here. That secondary title should be used to elevate someone new to get them ready for the world title. But it's backwards when you got two women who should be world champions, and then you got a laundry list full of women that are just losers and women that just bring in here to just get beat and all this. And I didn't pay attention to this. A lot of these matches I saw on YouTube because people who are at the show, they record the whole fucking match. And you can just sit there and watch the whole fucking pay-per-view on there. I sat and watched this whole pay-per-view on YouTube this morning. Every single thing, every single detail. So this begs the question to the people who bought this shit on Prime. I don't know what you're doing here, but Mercedes won by submission. 20-some minutes this match was. If you include entrances, it's like 20 minutes, bro. 20 minutes. That does not need to happen. The Kenny Omega match went 30-some minutes. Like, what? Getting to that, might as well go into it. So Kenny Omega and Takesha, they have a match. And if you know a Kenny Omega match, then you know what you're gonna see. All right. Now I will say this: some parts of this match had elements of like goodness, but then it gets a little crazy once you introduce furniture into the fray. Right? So the match goes on. Kenny's doing his best to sell, even though it's not working. This match is too long, but Kenny won. He defeated him, and now he is your new international title. You know they had to give it to him. It's backwards because Kenny should be world champion. Moxley don't need to be champion, and we'll get into that later. But then I know I'm talking all around the board here. And then you got the Swerve match with Ricochet. That match, I don't know. I don't know why people like it. I don't know why you like it, man. It was just boring. I was just looking at this shit. So the robe is on the post. Nana's outside on the post. Nana reaches up and grabs the robe and does his little swerve dance. Swerve while I drive. And then Ricochet dives on to Nana outside. Nana leans up and tries to take the jacket off to help Ricochet take it off in front of the camera. Shit fake, right? Just like that girl said, it's shit fake. So then Ricochet, he dives and he gets caught with a Death Valley or something like that. Anyway, long story short, Ricochet lost. He's a geek. He's a loser. Get him out of here. He's going to go off and then do shit with the Continental, International, whatever the case, man. You tried and you failed with Ricochet. You could have really done something and went all in with his character right now and made that something, but you just beat him right here. So then Moxley is going to go up against Swerve. I don't even want to see that. I'm not interested in anything they got going on because none of it makes sense. Meanwhile, these people on YouTube or anywhere else, oh, this was a fantastic show. They're doing that to try to tell their audience that this shit is good when it's really not. You're trying to brainwash these people into thinking, like, oh, yeah, this shit was great. Look, because this person said it. This shit is terrible. It's terrible. Where can you go with Ricochet now? He lost the blood feud. If he would have won this match and went on to face Moxley, that would have been something new. That would have been something interesting for television, the promos, whatever. You got to get people to watch your shit. I don't know. So you got, let's just talk about this real quick. So you got Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Syndicate or whatever the case may be. They wasn't even on the Go Home show for Dynamite because these folks do not care about that. All they care about is the money. And we can show up here limited. Keyword, limited. These folks don't want to be there. They beat Jobber Boys, a team that had some potential there for a second, but they never went anywhere with them. Says a lot of things about this company. I don't know. What else? What else happened on this show? Kazuchika Okada beat Brody King. You know, the same Brody King with Buddy Matthews. Why should you watch them? They killed them already. Malachi Black left that place. These folks came out there a week later saying that it's a new time. Ain't nobody holding us back. Ain't nobody holding us down. We got this, we got that. We got dogs. They bark. All that shit only for this man to lose here. They lost a tag team match before Buddy went up against Okada. And now Brody King lost. Losers. Should you care? I have no faith that this man knows what to do with anybody. I gave up a long time ago. This shit does not make any sense. Falls Count Anywhere match for the Women's World Championship. If you like blood, gore, if you like all of that shit, that's on you. That's on you. I don't like to see two women bloodied up, beaten. That doesn't do anything for women's wrestling. It sets it back a little bit. And this woman is in the Queen of the Ring movie. And this woman is being advertised on red carpets and all this and that stuff, doing media appearances in the morning. What do you think these people are thinking to themselves when they see this match that she put on with Mariah May tonight? Well, yesterday. They're dipping their hands in glass. That's women's wrestling, right? They're doing pile drivers on tables. That's women's wrestling, right? You've done it. You did a movie about someone who's going through the hardships of being a single mother and wrestling in those days, in the carnival days, and trying to make this shit something. Meanwhile, you come out here that night and you put on a match like this. They didn't need no Falls Count Anywhere, anything. It didn't need that. It should have been a one-on-one straight up match, but you got to introduce the carnage. Every pay-per-view that AEW puts on, someone is going to be bleeding. Bad. You saw it in the cage match with Will Ospreay and them, and now you're seeing it here. I don't understand why these women have to do this. Toni Storm won. She kept a title. They was on top of the stage. It was on top of the stage. She took the shoe and she bashed her head in. Everybody busted up. Everybody looking like they just came off of a horror movie. You got glass in the ring. You got chairs in the ring. You got this. You got that. Like, who is this for? And you just had a movie talking about women's wrestling, and then you come and you have a match like this. Take the shoe, bash her head in, and put her through the table. Hollywood ending. And everybody is like, this is a great fucking match. If that's what you like, cool with you. That's what you like, cool with you. Now you got to talk about this main event here because it's stupid. It's stupid. It's dumb. It don't need to happen. Cut to the end. Because I'm done. I'm done talking about this, and I kind of want to go play 2K25. So we're at the end of the match. The match was all right, you know. Surprisingly, for a Jon Moxley match, it was okay. So at the end of the match, they're down, and then Christian comes out there. He has a briefcase. Not briefcase. Shit, I'm getting confused. He has a binder, a metal binder. He's been holding on to this fucking binder for fucking months now. Not being used on TV. Just shows up, and just goes away. You forget that he even had a fucking binder. So he has an opportunity to face the person, because you know Tony Khan got a copy. So this is their money in the bank right here. So he hits Edge with the binder. He signs the contract. Match becomes a triple threat. Now, mind you, at this point, Moxley rolled out of the ring. Now, the fan who recorded the match, I saw everything. He rolled out the ring and he waited for his cue. Now, Christian went to the ropes. He's waiting to spear Edge, speared him. 1, 2, kick out. Then Moxley, because it's his cue, gets into this ring, and then he puts him in a bully choke, and then Christian fades away. But before that, Willa Yuta came out there. You know, the guy that they're pushing down your throats to make him somebody. They gave him an entrance last week at the theater from walking outside into the inside. I guess this is their John Cena heel turn or something like that. And it just didn't work. Now I'm looking at the fan cam throughout the whole night so I can gauge what these people were big on and what they was not big on. A lot of this show, these folks was just sitting there trying to come up with chants and people not chanting what they chanting. You got people out there in the audience saying, fuck him up, Moxley, fuck him up. And nobody ain't trying to chant that shit, bro. You got faint CEO chants. You got faint this is awesome chants. You got all of this shit, man. AEW was not a revolution, man. It was not. It's the same old shit. And I just can't believe that people are just telling people that this match is good just so they can spread the word like, this shit is bad. Why would you come on this platform and tell these folks that this show is good and this show is not? Explain to me why this show was good. I want somebody to explain to me why it was good. Why did you like these matches tonight? If you liked them, why? What story is it going to tell going forward? It's a one-off. Who is she going to get into the ring with now? Beating everybody. Everybody that's going to come up to face her are losers. People who got fed to Mercedes. People who you don't see on these TV. Like, where do you go? So Moxley's going to go off with Swerve. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I've seen that before. He's going to bleed. Swerve's going to bleed. Somebody's going to lick blood and all this and that shit. You had a good opportunity to make something shake, surprising, spice up some things. Christian should have won that world title. It would have been something different and something new and something that these people can leave there about. You don't want people to leave your show like this was bullshit. Despite whatever that happened on the show earlier, you don't want to leave folks like how they left these folks there that night. And then Swerve comes out there and jump Moxley from the crowd. I don't fucking care. I'm done with Swerve. I don't want to see him no more. You could have had a dynamic here and a story told that Ricochet beats him again. Now what's going to happen? Nana's going to just leave his ass and you won't see him for months. And then we could see Swerve go down a downward spiral or some shit like that. And then Ricochet, he's off and he's got success. He's the new world champion. He's on top of the world. And then at All In, then Swerve can come back and then he can beat Ricochet for the title. Bro, story, and not just a video fucking game, bro. This shit is aggravating. But no, we don't want to do that because it's a case-by-case basis, Tony Khan says. This coming from a place that don't even do production fucking meetings. And you mean to tell me that these folks really care about a story? That would have been nice. Ricochet beats Swerve. Swerve loses Nana. Ricochet goes on, beats Moxley for the title. That would have been something. It would have got people buzzing. You're in the panic mode now. Nothing that you do is going to go further down the rabbit hole than it already is in your ratings, crowd participation. It wasn't hardly anybody there. You still had empty fucking seats. They were using like yellow and purple colors to promote Revolution, and Los Angeles Lakers told them to stop using that shit. That's something that actually happened. Look it up. No, I don't care about this fucking show. I care about stories. I care about things that get me to want to watch the match. I don't want to just watch the match and then have to try to make a story up that makes better sense than the story that you're telling. This show was a dud. And anybody that tells you that this show was good, they're a shield. They're a shield. Anybody that's on YouTube that you watch who's like, oh man, this show was great. This show was great. They're feeding you bullshit, bro. Where is this show great at? Show me them numbers then. If this show was great, show me them numbers. Where them ticket sales at? Because you were selling tickets 2 days before this show was even started. They dropped the ticket price down so low that even a bum off the street could have just walked in on this shit. $60 from a $220-some ticket. Nosebleed seats, $20. Man, come on. This show got a long way to go. And AEW, man, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it in the long run. You're not going to make it in the long run. This show was terrible. Trash. But if you like it, that's on you.